My name is Alice Foy. I am the owner of a team operations and development agency called the Digital Jane. And I recently launched a program called OpsReadyPro. OpsReadyPro is a 12-week skill advancement program for operations professionals. And I'm going to turn it over to Ebony to introduce herself as well.
Hi, everyone. I am Ebony James. I am the founder and lead operations manager and consulting at the Empire Effect, which is a boutique operations firm. More recently, because it was just the operations, executive assistants, all of the things. And we're going to talk about that later. But yes, I've been doing this work for about 10 to 13 years now. And I'm excited about OpsReady Pro. I'm excited about all of the individuals who are going to come inside. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so if you know me, then you know I have a few slides. Um, so let me cue those up, but I don't want to lose our flow. So, Ebony, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Ops Ready?
That's such a good question. I when I think of OpsReady, I think of upskilling. That's the first word that comes to my mind is upskilling, but then also preparation for your next level, right? So no matter like what season you're in of life, if you're in entrepreneurship or if you're in corporate, um, OpsReady literally prepares you for your next level, for whether that's a promotion, whether that's growth in your business, whether that's scaling in your business. If you have an idea and you're at the founder's level of your business, it's preparing you for that next level. If you're applying what's being taught in OpsReady, you're going to grow. There is no doubt in my mind. I've seen it. I've experienced it.
Thank you so much. That was better. I think that answer was better than anything I would have said. But that is exactly what it is. Ops Ready is a 12-week operations program. It's a skill advancement program. So upskilling, exactly that for people who support the back end of a business. And that is in the plainest way. So whether you are a contractor, if you have a contract where you're supporting as an operations lead, or if you have a business and you're supporting other small businesses, you may be not even technically an operations manager yet, but carrying weight as in an operations role. I literally developed this program from years and years of witnessing firsthand all these moving pieces and all these people who were amazing, but often did not have the skills yet to show up and perform in the way that they needed to in their roles. And so consulting was literally what opened my eyes to the challenge and to also how can I use my skills, knowledge, and expertise to kind of solve this gap that we can see happening. So you'll learn how to bring more clarity, structure, and steady movement to the way that work gets done. That is my whole thing. Is like you can know all the things, all the latest tech, all of the trendy words, but do you actually know how to make an impact inside of real work? That is where I focus. So I always say Ops Ready is not a build your business program. There are so many of those. We are a skill advancement program. I specifically designed this program to help professionals advance their skills because most of us learn by being thrown into the deep end of the work. There's not a lot of training resources when you're looking for like, okay, like how do I get started? Most of us learn simply by doing the work, by having our hands on the work, by being in environments that stretch us and that challenge us. So my idea was to kind of create a bridge for that opportunity where operations professionals can have some more experience. You can get your hands on some real work because I'm not doing generic case studies. And then also businesses, small businesses could get more support. They often are understaffed and under-resourced. And so being able to have more operations support was the bridge that I was hoping to kind of gap, the bridge I was hoping to fill. So if you are here, I hope that this resonates with where you are in your journey. And now I'm going to take these slides down. and we're going to get into this conversation with me and Ebony so that you all can hear all the things. Um,
Can I add something, Alice?
yes, absolutely.
So I love what you said when you specify like this is not a build your business program, and it really isn't. I've done business mentorship and business coaching, and OpsReady is not like those programs. And that's what I love about this program is because you're not just getting like theory things like I've seen coaches, across the different spaces who are teaching you how to grow your business in an industry they've never been a part of. And so
Mhm.
one of the things when I decided to do OpsReady, I had made a decision to myself that the next person I invest in for coaching or mentorship or training in general would have to be in the industry that I'm currently in because I wanted it to be different from what I've had in the past. And
Yeah.
so when I was introduced to OpsReady, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the perfect opportunity because once you go through the program, you realize like I'm actually learning skills that I can literally implement with my clients tomorrow.
Yes.
And so I really love that about OpsReady.
Thank you. Look, I didn't even have to prompt that question. So tell us, what were you doing before OpsReady? You were already doing this work. You already had clients. You already had a business. What was going on before the program?
Yes, so before the program, I honestly believe that I was in a plateau or a plateau. So
Hmm.
I feel like my business had kind of like stalled out. I was still in a place where I was seeking clarity on exactly how I grow my business and, increase my income. So I was still doing all of the things. At that point, I was in a place where I was offering executive assistance and then operations management. I was trying new offers, testing new offers every now and again, EA for a week and things of that nature, trying to just see how can I get people to buy what I have. And so that's really where I was. I was in a testing phase, trying to figure out what works still, really just trying to get clarity
Hmm.
on. So I knew some things about business, but I also was looking for a model, right? And so I shared a long time ago on LinkedIn, not too long ago, about like all of the interactions with you, Alice. I don't know if you remember, but that's one of the things that I had mentioned. Like when I first found Alice, I don't remember how on Instagram. One of the things that I had made up in my mind, I was like, this business seems so like excellent, it's just the way that you presented your business. I just like I need to learn like how she does her business because I was like I need to know. And it's different when you hear people talking about their business, but when there's an opportunity for you to actually experience how they do it on the back end, it's very much so different. And so for me as someone who was still seeking clarity, still watching all of the YouTube videos, trying to piece things together, um, I was in a place where I was like, I need more, and I need to invest in someone who's going to help me find that more.
Yes. Oh, so long story short, everyone, I had put out a couple roles that we were needing support to Takira of the Digital Jane. We've done a lot of work together over the last 5 years. She's on a call as well. We were like deep in some projects and needed help, and we were putting out postings to get support. And Ebony had applied, and I don't know why. I think I was just like, I can't hire somebody with a business. I think that was the thing at that time, and I was kind of like strict on that at that point. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about bringing somebody in with the business, but you stay, I still remembered it. And then we moved on, and then it happened again. And when you came to the program, I didn't even realize that I had already had multiple interactions with you, and it was like the perfect timing. And I had no idea how all of that had even connected together at that point. But what stood out to me the most is the samples of work that you sent, I believe, the for one of those examples. I was like, oh, okay, you were already doing the things. I think I just had my heart set at that time on not hiring other business owners. But then guess what? I ended up hiring another business owner down the line. So sometimes it's just timing. And I think that sometimes we don't understand that when we're in our own way, you can be literally in your own way from getting the support that you need by being caught up like how I was. I was literally like, I don't want to bring nobody else in my business, but that's short-sighted, right? So that the backstory of how we first met and then you joining the program, I would say in summer of 2025, when OpsReadyPro came out and you joined the cohort, what stood out to me the most about Ebony was the way that she was showing up consistently, asking the questions, applying things in real time. I remember after we went through role clarity, you were like, wait a minute. I've been saying only an executive assistant and I'm literally doing ops level work already. This is work that I'm already knowing and doing and comfortable in. And that really showed in the deliverable that you all had did. But that stood out to me the most because as you're learning things, the best way to like really absorb it is by putting your hands on it to say, how can I apply this? How can I use this right now? I'm not just here wasting time. Like I really want to make use of the things that I'm learning. And that's one of the first things that stood out to me the most in the summer program.
Yes, and that insight and revelation that I got during the program literally is what shifted what I'm doing now in my
Mm.
business. So now I don't even offer executive assistance administration, it's fully operations now. And it was because of that like, light bulb moment that I had with role clarity.
Oh, that's amazing. And the whole time we don't even realize executive assistant work is always a part of the work anyway. That I do so much EA stuff on a daily basis, even with the work that I'm doing. So it's still a combination that supports ops management level work, but you don't have to limit yourself there. And I think that's what it was comfortable for you to get clients at that level. They were comfortable with that. But when you switch your title and your focus, did you notice clients shift one way or another? Were they confused or how did that process go?
Everyone, it made sense for everyone that operations management was the thing. And so everyone went into operations management. And then I started to get more clients for operations. And so I was like, well, I don't need to do like a EA for a week offer. I want to do like an operations type of short term opportunity. And so I was able to do that. And now, from the time I joined in the summertime to now, I 5x my income.
Wow.
Yes,
Can I 5X my income?
Me
literally.
too. Me too. Send it on over, Ebony.
Ebony, that is incredible.
I'm
Oh my
Five.
glad.
goodness. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, that is such a blessing. That is such a blessing. And to be ready for it too. That's the other part of it. Because there are times when we come in and you may be propelled faster than you're ready for. And sometimes it could be skills, it could be timing or your capacity. That has happened to me where I've kind of been thrusted into seasons and I'm like, oh wait, now I need to get ready instead of already feeling prepared for it. So that's beautiful, Ebony. That really is.
Yes. And that's what I tell people, like based on what you just said. For me, it wasn't, I've been doing this work for 10, 13 years.
Mhm.
And now but I've slowly crept in. I didn't try to like move beyond capacity. I didn't try to hire too fast. I know that was one of the things you said, Ebony, don't
Don't
do
waste.
it. And so I took the feedback. And so, but I was able to grow at my own pace. And I wasn't trying to chase after like how everyone else was growing and scaling like back in 2020. I was
Yeah.
literally moving at my own pace. And then I was investing in the skills and the opportunities like OpsReady, and it prepared me for where I am now. And now, if I choose to go and hire someone, I can, but I was able to 5X without even hiring
Wow.
because I changed my deliverables and I
Mhm.
got clear on what I was going to do.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So tell us, you recently told me that you're no longer using the agency model. So tell us about that.
Yes. So when I first started my business, agency model was the thing to do. And so everybody that I had heard was saying, agency is how you scale in this industry. And I was like, I don't really want to have an agency. And on top of that, a lot of job applications were saying, if you have an agency, don't even fill it out. Don't fill out the application. And so I was like, I don't want to have an agency. I want it to be just like me and maybe one other person, and we like duo it out. And so I stopped calling my business the Empire Effect Agency, and I switched over to just the Empire Effect because, for one, I love being in my client's work.
Yeah.
I'm really not interested, no matter what it looks like on the scale. I understand my assignment. I guess that's the only way to put it. I understand my assignment, and if my assignment is to support my clients, one on one, then I'm not interested in, handing them off to another team member. And there's nothing wrong with those who do. I just know that I enjoy doing this work and being hands on in the business. And I just understand that there has to be other ways that I can still grow and scale my business and still be the one providing that type of a support to my clients.
Absolutely. And there absolutely is, because the value of, even when it was the digital Jane, and Takira can probably attest to this. I remember when they would be on client accounts, they were like, they just want to talk to you, Alice. They really don't. They're not interested in nothing else. You are literally the business. No matter what other name you put on it, people are coming for you, because if not, they could go anywhere else. It's something about the experience that you bring.
Mhm.
And all of us have unique skills and abilities that only we have, right? Takira has worked with people through the Digital Jane that she had such a great rapport with, that literally became like her people. You know what I mean? That I was like, oh yeah, I was there too. But it was something about the interactions with her that stuck. And that matters. So it can be, you can be in a corporation, you could be a contractor, and that can happen anywhere. So it's not always like having the business. Sometimes it's like what you said, what you've been gifted with, what God has literally purposed you to do in this life. And the
Mhm.
people that are meant to encounter that are always going to find you. It just,
Absolutely.
it's just a matter of making yourself visible for it.
Yes.
I love
Absolutely.
that. Okay, so tell me, what's one tool or method from OpsReady that you still use?
So, one of the tools that we went through in OpsReady was the Tech Stack Audit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, up until that point, I had never done a Tech Stack Audit. I didn't know what it actually looked like. And so, when I learned about it, I was like, I'm going to go and apply this right away. And
Yeah.
so I've added it to my offers for my clients. I'm over here doing operation audits for the first time. And I'm like, oh, inside of your operations audit, it includes a tech stack audit. I'm just creating offers just for the sake of applying what I've learned,
Mhm.
right? And people, they're coming back and they're giving feedback and they're like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. And so I'm learning that when you're in programs like this, the importance of application and like just taking it all in,
Mhm.
right? Because there's frameworks that you've taught us in OpsReady. There's tools that you've exposed us to that I may have never known outside of OpsReady. But those tools or even the frameworks that you teach, they literally have not only given clarity, but it literally even opened up my mind to understand, like, okay, this is how you even grow and scale your business. So you talk about this one framework, every class,
Every
she's
class.
gonna mention this one framework, okay? And for me, I was just like, she's gonna beat us over the head with this framework. If we don't learn anything else in Australia, we better learn this. And
What
so
is the framework? What's the framework?
so y'all, the framework, you have to first of all care about people, okay? And so we need to understand the importance of people. And then you have your tech, okay? And then you have your processes and your systems and things of that nature.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And so literally you going through the framework with us so much, I was like, it has to be something to this framework thing. Right. And for me, I took that and now I got frameworks in my business. So
Yes.
before OpsReady, I was just kind of operating based off of experience and based off of skills. And, every client had a custom proposal. But once I really understood like this idea of frameworks and how you take the knowledge that you have and what you're learning and package that inside of a framework and then repeatedly use that for every single client, I was like, I need to get me a framework. And
Yes.
so now I'm developing frameworks. And so now my business is more systematized. I don't send
Yes.
custom proposals anymore. So now I'm increasing efficiency. I'm
Mhm.
saving more time. I'm building more capacity because a lot of the things that I was doing manually, just by nature of you sharing your framework every class, I'm like, I need a framework. And so now I'm able to do that. So the framework, the tech stack audit, I mean, you just got to get in the program. Everything.
You just gotta come to the program. No, that is beautiful. It took that framework was years of work and refinement. And after every engagement, we would come back and want to tweak something or make it better. And then finally it was like there are a lot of businesses that have grown a lot quicker than the Digital Jane because they sell packages, right? I have always had a custom scope that had three things that we will focus on. I don't overpromise outcomes. I say these are the three areas we're going to focus on. These are the deliverables you'll get. And we were consistent with that for a really long time. And then finally, it was like, we have a method to the way that we do this work every time now. We know what information we need to do the work. We know how many boards we can build out in a monday.com or a ClickUp. We know what kind of training process we need to do and the templates that we need to do it. This is a framework. So essentially, I had included the team tech process three-part zone framework before I even realized, oh, this is foundation first. This is literally my foundation first framework that we work from that I'm teaching on a smaller scale. So what's coming for OpsReady soon, within the next year, is people will be licensed to basically be foundation first service providers, and they'll get all the templates and all the things you all heard it here first. But that's what's coming next because I didn't even connect that yet, that it was like, oh, wait, this is what they're actually learning. So that is so good. And I love that you still are using the tech stack audit because that helps you too when you're getting in there doing the work and helping orgs save money. A lot of businesses and service providers in service-based businesses waste a lot of money on like unused seats. They're paying too high of a plan. Some of these things they haven't used since 1992. We got to get rid of all that. We got to clear the clutter and make room for growth. Um, Now tell us, what was it like going from being in the program in summer, the first one where it was kind of scrappy and I was doing the best that I could with what I had, to fall where it was a little bit more built out, but still again figuring some things out. But you came back as the program administrator. What was that like?
Yeah, I feel like it was a natural transition into that role only because in the program, I literally internalized the things that you were teaching and I
Mhm.
was applying it. And so, when you go into the store and you have a customer experience that's like top notch, you
Mhm.
want to tell everybody about it. And
Yeah.
so, moving into the program administrator role, it was almost just natural because it's like this works. I've seen it work. I've applied this. I want to tell everyone about it. And
Mhm.
then to be on the back end and being able to help the ladies walk through for their own sales, I'm like, hey, what do y'all need support with? Like, I want to support you all on the back end even more because I understand the benefits of the program, and so it was really it was fun being able to support in that way because now I'm able to support other women in the things that I was able to. It's like giving back, you know?
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Oh, that's so good. Okay.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time? Okay. Doing good in the hood. All right. Um,
Mhm.
does anyone have any questions or thoughts? Hey, Tawanna. I see Tawanna on here.
Can you hear me? Hey,
Hey, how are you?
y'all can't see me, right?
No, it's black.
Ah,
It's
my
okay.
laptop. Hey, Ebony.
Hey.
Hey, hey. Hello, everyone.
So we were I was opening space if anyone had any questions or anything that they wanted to add.
I think ops is the best thing that has hit this earth. I
Mm,
think you are outstanding.
thank
You
you.
gave me such a boldness that I didn't have. Such
Mm,
a boldness, right? Like I couldn't articulate well. Um, and I walked away like, oh my God, I love operations. Like this is really cool. The way you did it. I think for me the biggest part was um like I like to solve problems quickly, but you were
mhm.
like, no, you got to sit in it. You got to sit in it, right? Just sit in the problem. And when there's a problem, I'm like, okay, it needs to be solved. Let's solve the problem quickly.
Mhm.
And meeting with ASF,
Mhm.
um, hearing what problem they had, what was her biggest need, and then solving the problem, like really opened my eyes.
Yes.
It really, truly, I was like, oh my God, I was doing things total opposite.
Mm.
Not, I thought I was organized, but I wasn't organized until I met Alice.
Oh wow.
It taught me a lot. So I
Thank
admonish anyone to sign up,
thank
anyone to the best program, Alice, seriously.
thank you, thank you. That means so much. It's so hard for me to just sit here and hear y'all like I'm like, no, it wasn't. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you all found value in it because the gift and the curse is everything that I do it with my whole heart. And if every single person doesn't walk away feeling like their time was valued and they were seen and they learned and they, feel great about it, then it's hard for me, right? So it's so important that you all actually got value out of the program. You're able to use what you've learned to do the work because that's all I want. I call OpsReady my final act of love in this space because I feel like once this chapter is done, I'm phasing out into something else because I've done what I can do, but it would be a disservice to the industry to have all this hard earned knowledge and expertise and learnings. And we have all these templates and all the framework that I've developed to leave with all of that stuff without passing it on, right? To doing the work. So I thank you all so much for even entrusting me with such a small part of your journey. And since you talked about the work, I'm going to screen share, and Ebony's going to walk us through the project that her and her team did in 1992 because it's almost been almost been a year, but you don't have to read it verbatim. You don't have to remember all the things, but just walk us through. Uh-oh, that happened with our live stream. Just walk us through Bold Ventures case study.
Yes, so Bold Venture was the company that me and my team had. We were a small and mighty team, but we were like, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this deliverable done, and we're gonna kill it. Okay. And so Bold Ventures is an advisory firm, and we had the opportunity to come in and support them in the area of project management. And so we were ready to create an entire platform over in Asana. And Alice was like, hold on, let's start with a guide. Let's start with a guide. And so before, like they were already inside of or transitioning to Asana, um, but they were like they hadn't been using that project management space for some time. And so one of the things that they wanted us to do was be able to put a system in place so that their team can adopt it and begin to use the Asana project. And that's just a project management tool. And so I was excited because I was like, I'm an Asana ambassador. Let's do this. And
Yeah.
so they were beginning to use it for business development. And although I was not experienced in business development, and there was like this gap of like, okay, what is business development? How do I do this? We were up for the challenge. Me and my teammate, we were up for the challenge. And so we ended up creating them an Asana setup guide so that they would be able to go step by step on their own to begin to develop this out. And so, first, of course, we did our research on what was needed for the different documents that they had sent over for us. We were able to kind of really dig into it to kind of do our research and then begin to design out what this system would look like for them and how it would make the most sense for their team who would be using it. Because one of the things we want to do when we're building out systems or any guides for setup, especially if we're handing it off to a team who isn't familiar in that platform, we want to make sure that it's simple, but that it also meets the goal that they're desiring to reach. And so we created our guide, we built it out, we documented it, and then we were able to do a walkthrough video and train their team on how to actually set up their Asana platform. And so we included, the boards that were necessary, what custom fields, what automations they needed to set up. Like we literally walked them through step by step so that someone who had never seen Asana before would be able to take this guide and then go and implement it. And so
Pause
I really
right
enjoyed it.
there. Pause right there.
Okay.
This is a quick look, everyone, at that guide. This is the actual deliverable that was sent over to the Bold Ventures team. And the formatting, all of that, we didn't have time because the summer program was a beta and it was quicker. I think it was 4 weeks.
Mhm.
So they didn't have as much time to actually build it out, but they were still able to produce something that the team could use in real time. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, and so we created that guide, and then my teammate Sherry, hey Sherry, she was able to do the walkthrough tutorial, just kind of walking through how it would look on their end, and so we were able to give them a deliverable that they could literally the next day, if they wanted to, go in and build out their Asana dashboards.
Yes.
Yes.
In their words, they literally their operation, they have an operations manager. We're going to talk about that in one moment, how you can be support to teams that already have operations teams. That is the Digital James thing. Most of the time I'm working directly with operations directors or COOs. We can support existing teams. So their operations manager implemented the guide immediately and then said the Asana setup guide created by Ebony and Sherry supported our team in creating a functional space for miscellaneous business development tasks. They asked excellent questions, which made us feel confident that they understood our needs. The attention to detail was excellent. Using their instructions, we quickly set up our Asana project. This space has brought much needed organization to a long list of random tasks. And they also made a point that this was the whole thing to my heart. They said they made space for me as a client and for each other as collaborators. It's not a surprise that you and TDJ would attract such kind and considerate students. One of their initial questions about function areas sparked an idea for organizing our full Asana. So the root of the Digital Jane and also OpsReadyPro is we have a grace first approach. I want to make sure that the people that work with us feel seen and heard, that we take time. We take time to hear, we take time to listen. And that's not even, it's something that I'm using, but that whole term came from a client that Takira was supporting, and I wasn't even in the room to hear it. But I was like, wow, that's literally a testament to the way that we do and manage work. And you as a service provider or as an employee, you have the opportunity to coin a term or show up in a way that represents the way that you do in work, the way you want to be remembered in your work. You all showing up in a 40-minute maybe breakout session with her and making her feel seen and heard, and she saw how you all collaborate with one another. That's probably way more important than the actual guy, right? So that's what was stood out to me from that experience. And I was like, these are my star students. How do I this is great. And I think if there was more time, we could have probably built something out for them to use. But thank you so much, Ebony.
You're welcome. And that's another thing that really sets OpsReady apart too. Like you're not coming on by yourself, having to do the work by yourself. Like you literally are on a team of people, whether it's one person, three people, or five people, and you're getting to do this work together. And so it literally helps you as a service provider, as an employee, because you get to see how other people think, how other people interpret assignments, tasks, operations, and then you get to see how other people approach implementing processes and systems and putting those things in place. And so you have Alice who comes in and she's training us on all of the things, but then you have your peers who are all here trying to learn with you, and you get to hear the questions that they're asking, and all of those things begin to, do something in your mind, and you begin to be like, okay, that makes sense. Or they ask a question that you may have been thinking, and you get to collaborate with a group of individuals who can help you grow further. And you can then build those long-term relationships. Like Tawanna, who's on the call, I work with Tawanna now. And
Yes.
then, yeah, so me and Tawanna have been able to partner since OpsReadyPro. And then me and Sherry, that was my teammate. It was just me and her. But we've been able to literally stay in touch after the program.
That's
And so you really get to
good.
build those relationships if you are intentional.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Mhm.
I love that. She said brainstorming is the best. Yes. Okay. So we are closing out. I don't want to go into a full program pitch mode, but if there are any questions about the program, I can take them now. And somehow the LinkedIn got disconnected. So whoever's over there, I feel terrible. I don't know what happened. Any questions? Okay. So I will quickly give a little more context information about. Okay, so we are in the last few minutes. So a quick note about OpsReady Pro model. As we talked about, yes, it is a 12-week training, but one of the first things to know is that there are two ways to join the program. So some people come via self-enrollment. You are a service provider, or you are like, I'm in a position now and I want to maybe grow into operations management. The self-enrollment track is one that allows you to enroll and to participate, and I pair you basically with a business assignment similar to the one that Ebony just showed us, and you are still doing all of the work. You're learning in a hands-on way. We still have our lab weeks and our one-on-one sessions, but that basically just allows you to come in and still get the full experience of the program. Now, the co-op track is when your employer sponsors you. This is the primary track for OpsReady Pro, and it may soon be the program model. I'm just putting that out there now, but you will work on your own org challenges. So if you come as a sponsee of an organization, instead of me having you do a project for another company, you'll actually be solving challenges for the company that you work for. So they're also getting deliverables while you train. It only makes sense for you to train on your real work. And I pair that and I pace that throughout the course of the program. So that's the two-way model for the program. And next, this is all of what comes in OpsReady. We do group curriculum sessions. So weekly, I'm teaching live. We go through modules. We then do one-on-one coaching and mentorship sessions. So those are about your skills. I want to make sure that we're strengthening your decision-making skills, leadership. We're following up on what was taught in the actual modules. It gives us time to kind of do one-on-one stuff together and to set clear goals so that by the time I talk to you again, you've worked through the last things that we spoke about. Next, we are doing business aligned deliverables. What's new about this part is that I'm now preparing everyone to leave with a finished case study, a finished portfolio that you can do. It was an idea at the end of the last program, but it is something that I'm working on now. And then the peer learning that Ebony talked about, that is a huge part of it. We do lab weeks in between curriculum sessions, meaning if one week I'm teaching system building, our next class would then be a hands-on opportunity for me to go through it in real time with you. To maybe we're building a board, we're making edits to your project. We use that time to actually do the work together and all together. And that time, if I remember correctly, was Tawanna's favorite. She really liked the lab weeks. Oh, I don't have it on this slide yet, but OpsReadyPro is a credentialed program. So when you successfully demonstrate that you understand the curriculum, your final assignment, successful completion, you get a verified credential through a credible that can be looked up by employees that you can add to your website. That is a new addition, but I do have a rubric that will be presented to you in the beginning of the program, and you can opt in whether or not you want to be considered for a credential. This is just a look at the curriculum outline. So we have 5 core modules and then lab weeks. So serving with authority is the first one. This is really getting into the heart and the mind of your intention for doing this work, how you feel in doing the work, how you show up in spaces, all of that is connected. Organizational structure and planning is when we are looking at how to map the structure of an organization overall, not just the org chart. This is a different thing. So we want to make sure we understand how work is happening, what core processes they have, who's doing that work, and what the output is. So that one is one that's unique to us. I don't know if anything else is like it, but that one's a good, I love that module. 3 is role planning and clarity. This is the one that Ebony spoke about, where we get into the workflow, breaking down daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly tasks, getting super clear on how to do that process so that when you go into an organization, you can take them beyond a job description. Job descriptions are vague, and we want to make sure that you are able to pull those apart and find where they may need to tighten up. There may be some gray areas, there may be some overlap, there may be some scope creep in there. And being able to do that as an operations manager is so important because we often find missing processes and resources that teams need just by starting with the workflow discovery process. Next is process development and improvement. We are now using AI to support this process, but I will make sure 100% that you feel confident about the skill manually before we get into AI prompting. Moving with the times, it's a lot easier to use artificial intelligence to support this process. So you will be guided in how to expedite, but also making sure that you understand the core of doing the work. And then 5 is when we get to building. This is where the project management setup happens. It may be Asana, it may be ClickUp, it may be Monday. You won't know until we get into it. But those are the 5 core modules. All right, and last but not least, if you are interested in joining, we do have a few options. The self-starter, pace setter, the sponsor pro if you're coming from an organization. That rate is a little higher because it does include some audits on the company side so that I can match the curriculum to their work and so on. So that takes a little bit of prep, but orgs really love it. We had two or three sponsored pros in the last cohort. And then last but not least, we do have two scholarship seats available. So if you are interested, I can drop a link to that form in the chat. And that's all. That's all I have, folks. Well, if there's no questions, Ebony, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Listen, I am all for OpsReadyPro. I'm going to be sending out the link again, and for this new company I was telling you about on earlier. I'm like, I need to send them this link too. And so yeah, this program is absolutely amazing, and I appreciate you before you're transitioning into your next thing, that you're pausing a little bit to kind of support us who are coming after you in this space. And so I'm always appreciative of what you're doing, Alice. And so if I can help in any way, always I'm gonna
Thank
call up.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll be calling you back to see if you got capacity to be an administrator again.
Okay.
Because I done moved the program into a new platform.
Congrats.
Can't wait to
Congrats.
see it.
Y'all, Dara was like, my school uses this. I said, your school. So,
Wow.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, hey, Tanisha. She said that thank you, ladies. I finally got to see behind the scenes. Yes, thank you so much for coming.
And can I say one thing, Alice?
Of course.
I would like to say to the next cohorts, show up with your questions, show up to be seen, to be heard. No question is a dumb question. I've asked many of them. Show up ready. I know all of our lives are busy. All of us, we got something going on, something we're being challenged with, something is distracting us. But when it comes to this, be a sponge. Soak it up. When the
Yeah.
student is ready, the teacher will show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what I have for them. And enjoy it. Enjoy it. Keep
Enjoy.
pulling
Yeah.
on Alice. Keep pulling on her. Make her leave empty, guys. Make her leave empty.
Listen, leave it all on the Zoom. You know how they be like, I left it all on the stage. I leave it all on the Zoom. But tell me, is there anything unexpected about learning from or with me that you were not expecting that maybe the next cohort should know? You can be honest.
I feel like they need to be on camera, right? That's number one, right? I
Mm,
think they should be on camera. Their faces should be seen. We all live busy lives, but I do believe they should be on camera, ready, prepared, and ready to go, ready to learn, ready to absorb, ready to ask questions. I think they should have questions. You should never be in a company of somebody great and never have a question.
mm. Being on camera is not because it's hard to teach to a blank room.
Right. It's hard because it's communicating, right? You're teaching operations, you're teaching communication, right? You're
Mhm.
teaching them how to show up. And if
Yeah.
it was a client, they wouldn't be off camera, they would be on camera, right?
Mhm.
Or generally, if you're doing a work Zoom, they prefer you to be, so you're preparing them, right? You're preparing them for a place and they should be on camera. That's
Yeah.
my personal. You should be on camera.
And then if you look confused, it gives me the signal to
Yes. And it
slow
helps you more. Right. It helps
down.
you
Absolutely.
understand more if they got it, if they didn't get it, if you need to stay there, should we go back? Should I keep moving forward? Because right now you're talking to a screen.
Yes, absolutely. Takira, is there anything that you Takira probably like, no, I'm traumatized. Is there anything that you would like to share about working with me or something that they should know?
Oh my God, how much time do I have? No, but seriously, I work, oh man, I worked with Alice since 2020, with the Digital Jade. And the one thing that I can say is, she is definitely going to give you everything she's got. Um, and I want to just say, meet her there, kind of just piggybacking on what everybody else said. Meet her there, come ready, come excited, come ready to learn and to try new things and get your creative juices flowing. I don't think people realize how creative you have to be in this business. You have to use your imagination. You got to see solutions where other people might not see it, right? And as intimidating as that can be, that is also a very big strength. And I think that's one of the things that Alice does amazingly, is she's just very creative, and it makes it, the nerd in me likes that, right? It makes it a little fun. So, but Alice is amazing. Yeah, you're gonna get so much from her, with her. I'm excited for everybody. I popped in just to be a little nosy and supportive and just all the things, because I was her first Ops Ready. Okay, I helped
See,
build the program, y'all. This is off my back. I went through the
and I'm
trial,
thinking,
the test.
like I was like, if y'all want to hear what Takira got to say, I thought she was gonna say something different, but okay. I
No.
like the PR answer.
Yes. Well, I don't know how, I don't know who's all in the room, but no. Call me.
No,
I'll guest speak. I'll guest lecture in the cohort.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Takira. Thank you for being here, and